Hello and welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel. My name is Precious and this is Precious Reads. Today, I'm not quite sure what I'm going to call this video, but these are my top 10 honorable mentions for the best books of 2021. I know, it's why didn't these make the cut? These are books that I absolutely enjoyed, but the next video that's coming up that has the actual top 10 I loved more than these. So let's get it started. The first book that I loved, I think it was my first book by this author, Tanglewires by Lillian Locke. This was the first Lillian Locke that I actually read. I found her on TikTok and she gives the most amazing book recs. So Tanglewires, we follow Charlotte and Matthew. It has pining enemies to lovers. It's a stepbrother, step-sibling romance with a lot of heartache, emotion. It was just, it made me cry. It's one of the books that made me cry this year. I don't really cry. Yeah, I cry a lot. Never mind. Cancel that. I cry a lot, but this one really got me. The plot twist. These two siblings are they've been pitted against each other for many years by their father. Matthew's always been the golden child, and Charlotte has always been lagging behind him and trying to catch up and get her father's attention. But then their father passes away and they have to run this business. And Charlotte, when we start the book, she's coming back from a hiatus, but we don't really know what or why is the reason she took this hiatus. And when this is revealed, it is heartbreaking. And this is a human non-human romance, kind of, available on Kindle Unlimited. I loved it so much. Twisted Love by Anna Huang is another one that I enjoyed. It is a brother's best friend, kind of enemies. They're not really enemies, they just didn't really get on because he's more Ava's brother's friend, and Ava's brother decides he's a doctor and he's going to go to South America to work in an internship, and he needs somebody to look after his sister because she has some issues and he doesn't really trust her to look after herself. So he gets Alex, his best friend, to look after her. Alex decides to move in next door to her to keep a closer eye on her. And she and her friends concoct this entire game to see if Alex has emotions, because he's very cold, stone-faced, austere kind of individual. And yeah, that game failed, but something else blooms in its stead. They fall in love. Things are revealed about Ava's past that she wasn't unaware of. It was fun. It is. I haven't read the second book. I own the second book. I haven't read it. Why? There's too many just good books coming out, and life and work. Yeah. Okay, Barbarian Lover by Ruby Dixon. I think this is book 3 in the Ice Planet Barbarians books. Yes, it's on this list. I was shocked at how good the Ice Planet Barbarian books actually are, because I didn't think that they were going to be any good. I just don't know. I've read other Ruby Dixons, but I don't know. It was just too hyped. Okay, so Barbarian Lover is the shy girl and the it guy, the popular dude, Keiko. I don't know how to pronounce his name. He's this outgoing, confident, super cool dude, and Kira is shy. And she's shy for a multitude of reasons. First of all, she's on this ice planet, learning new things, learning about the world, and she has this implant in her ear where she can hear people. It's like a translator, and it also gives her extended range for her hearing. And she feels she's self-conscious and doesn't really feel that great about herself because of prior issues. But Keiko he peels the onion layers to find the true Kira. Hey, this was fun. By the end of the book, she's this ass-kicking character by the end of it. She starts off with this shy, oh my god, I don't want to be in anybody's way kind of person. And in the end, she's step away from my man. I loved it. I Loved it. And Monster in His Eyes by J.M. Dahawa, another one, absolutely surprised me. It was so dark, and you honestly only realize how dark it actually is by the end of the book. So this follows Nas and Carissa. Nas is an older guy, like dark, brooding stranger. We know nothing about him. And Carissa is a college student. They meet on campus because Nas has some business with her professor, and they just hit it off and they start this relationship. And she notices things about Nas. He's very domineering. He's also sort of very respected in his circles, and I don't know, like he has this like ominous presence, and yeah, we find out why, and why he actually entered her life. Yeah, it was good. It was good. It's age gap. It's pretty smutty. It's an organized crime book, but yeah, damn. I think I also shared a tear here. Did I? Not sure. Let's go to lighter options. Catching Kailyn, which is a male college romance. Kailyn and Monroe. Was it Kailyn or Callan? Anyway, Kailyn and Monroe. Just perfection. So it's a student-teacher romance. Kailyn is, I think he's coming into the end of his semester, but he has to stay and do extra work because his credits and stuff is falling behind. And to blow off some steam, he visits a bar one night, and at the bar, he meets or makes eye contact with Monroe. But the thing is, Kailyn is not sure whether he's attracted to men or not. He's never experienced that before, and he goes home with Monroe, but he tells him, I've never been with a man before, so this is kind of weird, but I find you attractive, so I'm not sure, that whole thing. And Monroe is totally understanding, and they start this whirlwind romance and then when school starts over again, guess who's in Monroe's class? This was fun. I loved it a lot, and I can't wait for more books in the series. They haven't been released yet, and it was so much fun. Monroe was such a great guy. He was such a great guy, and he treated Kailyn with such patience and understanding, and just understanding that coming to terms with this is not easy, and he didn't push him in any way, but he was always there for him, and it was amazing. Ivan by Sophie Locke was another one of my mafia romances that I enjoyed this year. We follow Ivan and Sloane. Sloane is given a contract to end Ivan's life. She's an assassin. She works in Moscow. And when she actually does penetrate his sanctum and is about to unalive him, he wakes up and he takes her down, and then he captures her. Yes, this is a bit of a captive romance. But then obviously he lets her go, and they have this sort of thing going on, and then she has to save him and his business to find out who actually put the contract on him. It was fun. I loved it. I love Sophie Locke's writing. I think this is the first Sophie Locke that I read. I've read others, but I've forgotten. Yeah, I think it was the first Sophie Locke that I read. I liked it a lot. Okay, Your Dad Will Do by Katie Robert. I listened to this on audiobook. It was so hot. It should have been illegal. So we follow Shane and Lily. Shane is Lily's boyfriend's dad, and that fool hurt her. So she decided the only way to pay him back for his betrayal is to seduce Shane. And she does. This was just pure smut from cover to cover. It was just pure smut from cover to cover, but I absolutely enjoyed it. I will say I preferred reading it. I preferred listening to it than reading it. Yeah, Katie Roberts' audiobooks are simply amazing. I highly recommend her audiobooks because I don't know, you can like pick up the pace, you can listen to it at two times speed, and it just, and she knows how to pick the voice actors. She knows how to pick the voice actors. And Grading Curves by Naima Simone follows Dane and Nikki. This is another student-teacher romance. Nikki is, she wants to mark the end of an era. She's been suffering for 19 years, and now it's time to change things up. So she decides to get a tattoo. She goes to the tattoo parlor, and the tattoo artist's name is Dane, and they have a moment in the tattoo parlor. It was hot. Anywho, fast forward to the first day of school, and guess who's in class? This is a age gap where she is older than he is, but it's not a big age gap. He's gone back to school just to follow up in some extra credits, so it's not weird in that way, but it's still like unprofessional-esque. And she like confronts him about it, and she says, you know, I'm not sure if I'll be able to pursue this. And he's like, nah, I'm a grown man. It was fun. I loved it. Lauren Lust, here, Nino and Haruka. It's a male romance. It was my first no, it wasn't my first vampire romance was it? Can't remember, but this is a vampire romance following Nino and Haruka. Nino is like this soft, he's a himbo, and Haruka is like this aristocratic, you know, polished vampire, and they're both of a certain age. They're purebloods. They've never fed on anybody, so they're very coveted within their community, and it's a double-edged sword, really. It's very, everybody wants to be around you, but not because of you, you know what I mean? And they start off this absolutely sweet friendship, and it blossoms into something else, and then there's a mystery about what's happening to older vampires. It needs to be sorted, but it was very beautiful. It was a very beautiful book with a beautiful cover. And the final book, and this was my first Cora Riley and my introduction to mafia romance earlier this year. The Sweetest Temptation by Cora Riley will always be one of my favorites because it's introduced me into this mafia world. But now that I've read so many, I can't put it like on my top 10 books of the year, so it's an honorable mention. We follow Julia and is it Cassio? I can't read my own handwriting. Yes, I have notes. Anywho, it's an age gap, arranged marriage, mafia romance. What I enjoyed about this book is that at the start of the book, Julia was this soft, sweet, afraid of the world kind of character, not matured in the things of the world. And at the end of the book, she was fighting to keep her family together. She was like, I've joined this family, I'm here. And Cassio had to realize that she's not just a placeholder, she's his wife and mother to his children, because Cassio has children from a previous marriage. And yeah, she just made herself known and fought for his respect, as a mafia princess should. I loved this, and it also introduced me to arranged marriages and how much I absolutely adore them. Those are my top 10 honorable mentions for my favorite books of 2021, and I'll see you next time. Thank you for watching. Bye.